Hey guys, it is the next day. Excuse me. It is the next day, and as you can see, the weather's turned turtle again. Now, it is actually later on in the evening. It's around about 8 PM, from what the happens say on my watch. And yeah, there's hardly any wind, but again, it's raining. And now it's been not a bad day today. The wind's not been that bad. And, oh, you can't see me. There we go. The rain's not been that bad. The wind has not been that bad, I should say. But I've not flown because there's been a few people up here and I wanted to continue doing the Blackhorse Typhoon. Now, the problem that I had was I'm having trouble with storage space on my iPad, and I've been deleting stuff and, you know, uploading videos that I've done from here and from the Scale Heli Day that we held up here last week, and I've had to sort of like do it, delete it, do it again, delete that footage, do it again, delete that footage, and I've been backwards and forwards like that all day, and I'm still doing it now with the video for this. So anyway, I've been working on the Typhoon, like I said, while that's all been going on. And what I've got to do today, what I've had to do today, or what I did today, is I've fitted the retracting and the Uji flip thing. And then I've been, for the last God knows how many hours, on and off, been pre-fitting. This isn't actually fitted in yet, fully, but I've been pre-fitting and sorting out the thrust tubes for the back of the Poon. Now, these bits that are sticking out here, they're not going to stay there. But you've got to basically, on this model, the original kit, this thrust tube here, this bifurcated, whatever they call it, thrust tube, the nozzle was at the back, came down to 55mm on either side. Now, with a 120mm fan, that is not enough, that 55mm. So what we've done is we have enlarged these to the correct diameter that it should be according to the size of that fan in there, which is 72mm. So these nozzles now have been cut down and I've got 72mm outlets instead. And I've had to cut down some more of the actual nozzle, of the actual thrust tube itself, where it splits into two, and I've had to like cut them down a little bit more because they were still a little bit too small and they needed to be 72mm, and I had to take literally about 6mm off each tube to get them to the right diameter. And I have now since then made these two acetate tubes which go from the ones that I've cut and they've been stuck on and sticking out the so it's been a right game doing this. Now, my plan is to basically mark these up where they're going to come to. I will cut them off, but for now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave them as they are. This has got to be epoxied on. This has got to be taped onto the fan unit itself properly. And I'm trying to work out how the bugger in hell I'm going to have to do that, because it's going to be really awkward. I can't get this whole unit, despite this huge great big television screen hole, excuse me, I can't get the whole unit in complete in one piece. So my dilemma is I need to get the electronic speed controller. I'm going to mount that just there. You can see that there. It's going to go there. So it's going to be in the airflow of the actual duct in itself. Okay, so that'll help keep it cool. It does say it does say on the instructions to have it on the top of that, but I'm having it on the bottom. And it'll be held on by Velcro and zip ties to keep it in place. That way we're going to get constant airflow going over it coming from the front of the aircraft. But I need to get these cables lengthened, and need to get them out of here basically and through into there. So these are going to be lengthened, and then I've got to lengthen these as well, and I'm going to use, like I normally do, EC5s, because all my 6S packs have got EC5s on. And I'm going to make a Y lead, but I'm going to eliminate the third plug. So I'll have the two plugs which are female that the batteries connect to, and then you'd normally go to a single plug which then connects your ESC. I'm going to wire directly to the ESC, so I'll have a female either side, and then they'll be joined together like a Y lead, and then they'll be soldered directly to that. It eliminates then an extra plug basically. So I'm going to need to do that. The time is getting on. Like I say, I've spent ages trying to get this sorted out today, but I'm going to start again tomorrow, and the first thing I will have to do is solder up this ESC and get that all to the right length of cable, and then once that's done I can start looking at hard fixing the fan to the shroud. The nozzles here are already taped to the actual shroud itself. They can stay on. This isn't glued in, like I say, so this can be pulled off if need be. And then what I can do, I think, is, because to get these on, they're okay sliding them in that way, but then I can't connect them to this. So they've got to come through here and out the back of the nozzle, but because there's a lip on there, they keep catching. And the only way that it can be done is by crimping it in like that and then popping them through. It doesn't damage it, it doesn't crease it, because you're not putting that much pressure on. So I think what I'm going to do is remove that, which will then give me more access to move this back. Then I can take the fan out, get the wire sorted, because I'll put the fan in upside down, get the wire sorted for it, get it out of here, then I can connect this up, give it a test run to make sure that it's going the right direction. And then I can fix the ESC and run the battery cables through to the front, and then the next item on the agenda after that will be fixing the tracks, the retracts into the wings, and we're about there. I've got the control horns for the canards. I'll be getting them tomorrow. They've been done and I'm having them brought up tomorrow, so I'll be able to get the canards sorted out as well. This model is not far away from being finished, but it's going to take a while still, so we've still got a lot to do. The weight of the aircraft is starting to pick up now with the retracting the nose and the fan in it. We're looking at about 4 kilos at the moment, all up with what we've got in here so far. But yeah, it's coming along, so let's continue this tomorrow, guys. It's going to be about 8 hours for me and about 8 seconds for you. See you later. Right guys, it is the next day, and although Stu's flying, there's only 3 of us up here because we had a horrendous thunderstorm last night and it completely changed the conditions at the club. The wind's not too bad, but it's bloody cold. It's only about 10 degrees. But anyway, we're going to carry on where we left off from last night, and we're going to do the electronic speed controller soldering. I'll get all that all soldered up, which is going to take a while, and then we can start fitting the ESC and hard fitting the fan into the Poon. So I'll be back in a bit when that's all done. Right guys, 2 hours later, we've got this ESC finally wired up. The combination of myself and Nick, who's up here, soldered it all together, made a Y lead directly to the ESC like I said. I've taped it together just so the wires don't flap around everywhere, and then we've got the extra length on here which will go into those. So I need to get the ESC mounted into there, and then once that's done I can start putting the wires through and hard mounting this and the nozzles at the back. So let's get on with it. Right, after discussion and remembering the Preceptor that one of our colleagues had here at the club, we've made a decision that this thrust tube here, the gap between the end of the tube to the front of the fan needs to be bigger. So the line that I marked, which is where the carbon rod's going to go through to make the wing one piece effectively, they've said to take that bit off. So I'm going to take about an inch, maybe an inch and a quarter off the tube back to make more clearance, basically to have a bigger gap, and it will generate more thrust. That's what they're saying. So I hope they're right. If they're not, then I'll just have to fiberglass the ring back on. But it's not stuck anyway, it's actually loose. So I've got to get the Dremel out and cut that at some point. But at the moment, priority is getting the ESC in. But then saying that, put the ESC in, it's going to get covered in fiberglass. I'll cut that out first.
Receiver 6.7 gold.
Thank you very much. Right, we got Nick's, that was Nick's Mikado talking to me. Well, we've got the ESC mounted in there now, and I've got basically double-sided sticky pads underneath that run along the whole length and zip tie around it as well to keep it secure in place. Although you can't see it, the battery lead is coming up through into the cockpit, and now I've got these three cables here, which are for the, obviously for the electronic, for the fan. Now I've taken off the extra bit of ring there, which is there, and it's also allowed access now for here for me to put a carbon rod right the way through to the other side, into the other wing, because it was just those 6-inch aluminium tubes that came in literally about that far. But now I can put carbon rod into the aluminium tubes and run it right the way through the fuselage into the other one on this side. So instead of it being like two aluminium rods, like, where's the other one? That one there. I can't put one in there because that'll go straight through the fan house. So I'd have aluminium tube there, and here I'll have an aluminium tube here and here, but a carbon rod will be going straight through the fuselage. So it'll aid with the wings not doing sounds of the underground. So yeah, right, I'm gonna do the holes now for the fan and get that bolted into place, and then we can start looking at getting the duct in at the back, which is going to be a right pain in the ass. Get that sorted as well. Right, so I'm hoping that this wood isn't as soft as the wood that was in the retracts. Clearly not, because that's not rotated round. Ouch. No, that's a lot harder. That's a good thing. Even though there's 6 screws holding this in place, the last thing I want is for the things to come undone. So I'll get these screwed in, and then I will come back to you. Right guys, that is the nozzle. That's how it looks. And then we've got the fan in there. Again, still only dry fitted. There's no screws in there yet. But to get the actual shroud in, I have to squeeze, push, and then it's the same with the nozzles at the back. I have to squeeze these like so, and then they just pop out. So I'll get that in. The hole there is for the ESC's wires to go through to the fan, or Vicky Berkey. So I'm just going to do all that, and then hopefully it'll be ready to run. Right gang, we've got the ESC in, and that is now all wired up, and the wire to the receiver is going up through the front, and then you can see we've got the 3 cables here for the fan going into the shroud. This is just taped on with some electrical tape at the moment, but it keeps stretching and peeling up. I've got some aluminium foil tape at home that I'm going to put over the top of that. Actually no, I'm not, because aluminium doesn't go very well when it comes to electricity. So I've got some surgical tape that doesn't stretch. I'll use that. So I'm now going to put the back nozzles on, and then once I've done that, I've got to epoxy that in place. And then once I've done that, I think I'm going to start wiring up this here needs to go in for the mains here, for the main wheels and whatnot. I'll put the shrouds that go in here in as well, on both sides, and then I think I'll have a go at the pull system. What we're doing for time, it's 4:45. I'm going to be here till probably about 8 or 9 o'clock, so whether I'll get all that done in that time I don't know, but hopefully. So let's crack on, shall we? Right gang, fire wire, lots of spaghetti. I think I've practically got everything. What's that? I think I've practically got everything wired through now that needs to be wired, and I've got everything put in place so that it doesn't, let's just take my watch off, so that it doesn't get sucked into the fan, because like I said to you before, this is a pretty powerful fan system that I've got on here. So yeah, we're getting there slowly. Now I think once, what time is it? I've just took my watch off, so how the hell am I going to know? I think once I've got this sorted out, I'll go back to the underside of the fuselage and I will put the wheel bays into the bottom, get those sorted. Bugger, I've just dropped my zip tie. And then I've got the control horns now that I was telling you about for the canards, so I can get the canards sorted as well, get them connected up. Get those connected up as well. We're making progress slowly, considering I started this, what day was it? I can't remember. It's been about 3 days I think I've been working on this, isn't it? Something like that. It's coming on pretty quick, to be fair. 95% almost ready to fly. Look, my latch come out. It come out of here. 95% almost ready to fly. And we're probably at around about 98% now. Something like that, I would say. So she is getting there slowly. Get in. Missed. Nope. I'll do that later. Yeah, so just finished tidying these here on the side like at all, and then I've got to try. I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a tray that will go in between here, which is where the batteries are going to sit, and obviously these are the canard. Anyways, I'm going to make a plywood plate that I'm going to put in here, which will have the 3S 2200 LiPo for the receiver pack and the actual receiver itself. So, but I don't think I'll be getting that done today. I'll have to do it tomorrow. But I want to tuck the wires away nicely because I hate having a mess when it comes to wiring. Right gang, let's get these. That's hang on a minute. That's blocked. Block it. I'm using Yoo-Hoo Paw on these oops, hang on a second, why isn't that working? Is it blocked? There we go. I'm using Yoo-Hoo Paw, that's better, on these because you never know when you're going to want to take them off. And to be fair, Yoo-Hoo Paw it sticks stuff down really well, but if there comes a time when you need to get something off, put some underneath there as well. If you need to get something off, you can actually still remove the item without damaging it if you're careful, because it goes like rubber. It's like a rubber glue when it goes off, but it does work really well. We actually use these to repair foam. They're brilliant for foam and to make foam hinges as well, or to repair foam hinges. You can actually use this stuff to repair a foam hinge on a model, and you can pick the model up by the hinge, like by whatever it is, like the elevator or the flap or whatever, and it will hold it. It's that good stuff. That's good stuff, I should say. And I'm making a right mess here, aren't I? But I'll get the old alcohol wipe on it and pop that in. Squeeze it down, push it all the way home. I missed that bit there, didn't I? Squeeze some in there quick. There we go. Yeah. Right. So yeah, you get your alcohol wipe, and while it's still on, clean all the glue off from around the sides while it's wet, because once it dries, it's really difficult to get it off without smearing it everywhere. You can get it off eventually, like, you just peel it off, but you're just preventing yourself having to go through all that, to be fair, by doing this. Right, give that a clean. Dirty. Right, that's that. And then put that back in there, because I forgot to bring some more with me. Now we know that it's all sealed down, lift it back out, because it's one of those ones where you, there we go, where you let the glue go tacky on both surfaces, and then once you put it in, it's like stuck. So put that one back in a minute, get the other one done, and then we'll have a look at doing this nozzle at the back. But like a twat, I've taped all this up, but I didn't get the nozzle lined up properly, so the nozzles are actually twisted like that, so the plane will be constantly rolling when it takes off. So I'm just going to undo this tape and then re-tape it back up with the nozzles all lined up. Now the fan's fitted, hopefully I can get it to line up properly. Right gang, while I'm waiting for that to go touch dry so I can put it together, I've mixed epoxy up so I can put the jet pipes on. I've got them all lined up and whatnot. I would have liked to have screwed these in, but it would have been too much bloody hassle, to be fair, to do something like that. So, but this has got to be epoxied on, I think, because the last thing you want is for this to come off. Once I've got this done, I can then actually trim the need to turn it over, I can trim the nozzles at the back then, and then I can stick them down with I'll use Eurofighter as well on that to stick them down. I hate the smell of epoxy, it stinks of ammonia. Last bit, up there and in there. Right, squeeze. Now, oh, I don't like doing this. Come on, in you go, in you go. Right, that's in. grab my last alcohol wipe. Yeah. Think that's good. And then just for safekeeping, stick, pull, stick and pull. Other side, the other side. Stick, pull. Electrical tape's brilliant for stuff like, oh, electrical tape's brilliant for stuff. Oh, what am I crushing? Twat. Stretch, pull. Because it stretches, you can pull it and it sticks down and it's constantly then pulling. Oh god, this is getting heavy now. But you can't see it, can you? No. Oh well, you're not missing much. Stretch, pull. One more. Stretch, pull. Right, that's that. And I'll put it back on its side. Oh my god, starting to get heavy. That's the canopy. And then quickly we can put this back in. Push, 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 push. Marvellous. There we go. Everything is starting to be hidden now, and it is coming together. I don't know why some of these things have got so much bloody dust on them. I have to bring some more alcohol wipes with me tomorrow. This is my last one. I keep putting it in a bag and pushing the air out of it to make it last so it doesn't dry out on me. Right, that's that. Back in the bag you go. Okay, so make sure that's stuck down good and proper. So is the other one, it's not come away. Right then, let's have a quick assessment of what we've done. So we have now got everything installed that needs to be installed. I've got to trim that. I'll wait for a bit before I do that. Right, we've got the canard servos in, we've got the canard brackets in, that's all done. We've got all the servos, wires and everything all in place where they need to be. We've got the fan fitted, we've got the ESC fitted, we've got the jet pipe fitted and the nozzles fitted, which have got to be trimmed off. Rudders, fin, the whole lot, shebang, bidding is all fitted. So what we've got left to do now, it's going to piss it down. Here it comes. So think, assess. Right, I've got an on off switch in there where it says on and off. That's for the ESC, puts power to the ESC. So now think, Rob. Right, we've still got the canards to do with the control links and the control horns. And then we've got to put the retracts into the wings and whatnot. Oh my god, it's hammering it down. Then we're going to put the retracts into the wings. I've got to fit a beck as well to power the receiver, which will go in here. Then we're going to start tidying up all this wire Get a plywood plate, like I said, down there, which is where I'm going to mount the receiver and possibly the 2200 3S for the Beacon receiver pack. And then we ain't going to be far from done. Now, I don't know when I'm going to be flying this, because, well, the weather speaks for itself here in the UK at the moment. It's crap. It feels like February, like I said earlier on. It's been windy, it's been raining. I think we've seen 3 days of hot sun where it was 27 odd degrees, and then it went back to winter. So, but anyway, as soon as we get an available point, once I've done all the engine tests, made sure the fans run in the right direction, done a noise test with it and whatnot, had some taxi trials, see how it accelerates, get the ESC programmed, and we'll hopefully be able to go for it. So, right, I'm going to wait for everything to dry, have something to eat, and then we'll come back and we'll start having a look at the wings. Right guys, these are the control links that I was telling you about that have been made for me, and as you can see, they're pretty thick and really strong. I've tried to snap them, you know, to see if they are as strong as what he said, and they are. I've got ball links on, which were really hard to tighten up because this is hard stuff, but they ain't coming out for shit. So I've got, yeah, ball links from a 500 helicopter, and I've got these here, which are basically they're clevises that have got screws that go through the horns, and they're actually screwed down onto these using Loctite, glove screws. Thank you. So yeah, I've just got to trim on the sides a little bit because they're just slightly too big to go in between the two brackets at the front where the canards are, and then they'll be able to go in. But you can see there's 2 holes here. What I'm going to do, I'm going to put them in, test fit them, and then I'm going to move the canards, drill through these, drill through the aluminium that's going on the inside, and then just drill a tiny little mark on the carbon rod, and then I'm going to drill into the carbon rod a little bit as well, and then I'll be able to put a screw through here which will bite through this whole thing and then into the actual carbon rod as well. So once they're in, I don't think they're going to come back out again. I might even drop some super glue, if I can, very carefully down into them as well, to give them an extra bit of shall we say. But yeah, those have been made there, and they've been made out of carbon, so they are really strong. Right, nozzles. Clearing my super glue out. Nozzles now trimmed off, and I basically used a hot knife blade to cut the worst of it around, and then I got a where is it, one of these blades here, brand new one, and then trimmed off all the rough edges, and then got a rough and smooth foam pad, and I just basically went round all the edges and whatnot, so they're nice and smooth, nice and you know, no outs or ouches or anything like that. But yeah, that should produce a nice airflow out the back of those. And then what I did is I used a zip tie and put it in the gaps that you can see here, and then dripped super glue down, and it ran all the way around, did it on both sides, and that's basically sealed them in, so they're not going to move anywhere. But yeah, another stage done. This thing's going to be a beast when she's finished, a real beast. And that is, oh, thought that had locked then. But yeah, it's coming on really nice. I hate the colour of these nozzles. They're completely wrong. As most of you will know, they should be silver, but you wait until you see what colour scheme it's going in. Once she's flown and everything's all sorted on her, you wait till you see what I'm going to do with this one. She's going to blow your mind. Right, let's have a look, see now what we're going to do next. I think the wings are going to be next, getting them ready for the retracts. Put the retracts into them as well. And then it's starting to look at putting in the receiver and getting everything all and working and whatnot. So let's continue, and hopefully we should be done in a couple of days. Right, the oh dear, the two arms that I had made for me snapped. So much for them being strong. But yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I'd sooner do it now than do it in flight, because bang would have been the end result. But I've just ordered two cast brass boat tiller arms, which will work just as well for an 8mm shaft, so they'll actually be metal. So I've ordered them now. It's Saturday. I probably won't see them until at least Tuesday, but still got plenty to do between now and then. So yeah, oh well, never mind, at least we tried. But I'd sooner have it you know, with something that I know isn't going to fail, because this is an integral part of the aircraft. Life goes on. Right, so where do we stand now? I think, like I say, the next thing we're going to have to do is get the wings out. I've got to make some plywood blocks, 1/2 inch blocks, to go underneath the wood where the wheels are attached, because it's really soft plywood. Like I said to you the other day, on the nose wheel, I went through it so easy, it felt like balsa wood. But putting the hardwood in that I did made a hell of a difference. I mean, it was really difficult to put the screws in, so they're not coming out for shit. But anyway, so it's currently 8:15. I'm knackered. I've been up since 4 o'clock this morning because bloody thunderstorm woke me up and I couldn't get back to sleep. So I'm going to quit today. And look how nice it is now. Look at that. It was raining, what, I don't know, half an hour ago. We've got clear blue sky coming towards us. The wind has dropped. It's just a typical evening. But hey ho. So yeah, anyway, we'll call it quits today, and we'll start again tomorrow. And like I say, we'll get working on the wings. So I'll see you in the morning, guys. Well, we have a change of plan, guys. It's amazing what happens in a day. Now, it is the next day, but it is late in the evening. I've been busy all day with the lads at the club. So I've only got about 3 hours on this today. But look what I've got. Tiller arms. So we can fit the canards. So what I've got to do is get that. That like so. And then rotate that like so. Like at all. I want to get the tiller arm and the canard at roughly the same angle. So we're looking at 90 degrees ish. And no, where's that gone? Hang on a sec. I need my drill bit. I need my hand drill bit. No. Bugger. Hang on a minute, guys, I'll be back. Right, so if I get that to there, and get that, and go, go on. I need that just to give that a quick mark. Let's see if that's worked. And the answer to that question is no. Oh, hang on. Yes, it has. There it is. It has marked it. See, you're a lie. You're a lie. Let's make sure that's the right one. So, yes, it has. It has marked it. Right, let's make sure I mark it a bit more so we don't lose it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drill some tiny little holes in these spars so it doesn't weaken them, and then the threads from the screws that hold the tiller arms on, will bite into the carbon itself. So let's do, need to move you back a bit, hold on, put that one in there, do the same with that. Getting fish, there we go, move that 90 degrees. That's about right. And mark that. It's not marking it, it's not marking it. It's not marking it. God, blimey. See if it marked it. Did it mark it? Nope. Well, in theory, it should be the same as that one, shouldn't it? So, if I put them side by side, is it there? No. I don't think it is. Let's try again, shall we? Get it in hole. Get it in, get it. There we go. Just make sure I don't get them mixed up. That's got to go with that one. Getting warm. It is getting warm. End of the day, and it is getting warm. Go on, in you go. Right. Put it up to there. Oh, that'll be why the brass grub thingy has moved inside. Bear with, guys. Right, gang, I'm not going to risk it. Although these would have worked, there's not enough metal for the screw thread to go through. You're looking at about 2mm, and that's not going to bite. I have got some more coming, like I said earlier on, and they are actually metal, and they are designed for 8mm rods. So I'm going to wait for those to turn up. But hey ho, doesn't matter. It's not like it's going to fly tomorrow. So we'll just have to wait for them to come, which hopefully will be Tuesday or Wednesday, which is a couple of days time. But we've still got plenty to get on with. We can start readdressing those, or addressing the wings, I think, and getting the retracts fitted into them. Right, guys, we've got these marine ply blocks here that I've made. Now there's already some wood underneath there that I think the previous owner, Kev, put in, but there's nothing at the front here. Now, going by the front undercarriage leg, this wood is so I put these, well, I've made these to epoxy, and that will go in and underneath these bits here. So I should get the screws in both, because that is over that wood there inside that Kev put in. So I'll get both the screws, and they should go right the way through into the wood that he's put in and into the wood that I've put in as well. So I'll epoxy those into place, and then I can screw the screws in to hold them in the wood. Look at that, perfect fit. These are pitchler retracts. They call them pitchler retracts, and they are a perfect fit. They fit right in that hole. Look at that, what a fit, absolutely perfect. These are about 100 quid a shot. So, but there, as you can see, it's a hell of a trunnion and drive unit inside, and you've also got come on, Rob, what do they call them? Oh god, the legs, the undercarriage, the godos, they're held in by 2mm screws as well. So when I say 2mm, I mean the hex drive's 2mm. The actual bolt hole itself is M4. So I'll have plenty of bite when it comes to putting them on. So I'll get these marked up. Where's my pen? Where's my pen? Here it is. Get each one of these marked up like so. Now the screws that they provide with you are crappy little 1-inch jobbies. Honestly, I've got the other wing behind the camera. I might as well mark that up quickly while I'm here. The screws are perfect fit. The screws are crappy little 1-inch long screws, and we're going to be about as much use as a chocolate fireball. So I'm going to use longer and thicker countersink screws, which will make the bond going down into the 1/2-inch wood and that piece of wood that Kev's put on both of these at the back a lot more stronger. Because the last thing I want, especially with the grass that we've got here, because it's shit, the last thing I want is for these to get ripped out. So I'll get the epoxy mixed up and we'll get them bonded in. Right, gang, I don't know if you can see those little screws there. Those are supposed to be what you use for the retracts, and they're going to be no good at all, because they're only going to go through this wood and about 1/8 of an inch into the 1/2-inch plywood that I'll put in there. So although I've not actually got the screws I'm going to use with me, I'm going to be using this type of screw here. This is a self-drilling countersunk screw, and putting it against the actual wood, I've dropped it, putting it against the oh Lord, I can't get it out, hang on. If at first you don't succeed. Anyway, as I was saying, these screws here, they're about 1.5 inches long, and they go right through, with the retract unit on there, they will go right through that wood and also through into the 1/2-inch plywood that I've got here as well, right the way through. So we've got practically the whole of the length of that screw going straight through and into the hardwood below. So that should definitely hold the retracts in. As long as I don't land like a nuclear twat, then we shouldn't have any issues with the retracts with those, to be fair. That wood is so hard. I can't drill through it by hand. This stuff on the top it's soft as shit. But the wood that I put in, nope. Plan B. That's one. Now let's get one on the other side. Actually, let's get that wood out, that Defron crap out while I'm here. Wing number two. Away. Delete. Right. Now for this one. Right, that's those drilled. Pilot holes drilled, and again retract fits perfectly. Right, let's have a look now. There should be some grub screws that hold, no it ain't, it's a 4mm bolt that goes through there to hold these in place, not a grub screw, and it's pretty strong, to be fair. Let me just get the oleo. Right. Actually, that's how much goes into the fuselage. That is what, 2 inches that goes into the fuselage. Now I'm going to make a modification when it comes to doing that, because this isn't going to be enough. Now the front one, right, this one, I'm going to put a carbon rod through there, because this is a tube, it's not an actual, oops, it's a tube, it's not a rod. See the earl? So I'm going to put a carbon rod through this, right the way through to the other end, epoxy it into place, and then I'm going to put that into the wing, not epoxied, feed it through the fuselage to the other one on the other side, and then I'm going to epoxy the other one into the other side, into the other tube. So I'll then leave it with the other tubes in place and this done up and whatnot, leave it to go hard, and then I can pull them out and it will leave the tube and the carbon rod in the fuselage. The carbon rod is extra security. For the back ones, they go in further, right? Less in the wing, half and half, 50-50. But the fuselage, they go through a piece of 1/8 ply here, and then there's another piece of 1/8 ply here, and then this bit here that's sticking out from about here onwards, absolutely naff. So I'm going to get some more 1/2 inch plywood, and I'm going to cut a block about so big, 1/2 inch thick, and I'm going to do it twice, then I'm going to laminate them together. So I've got a 1 inch thick plywood block, then I'll drill a hole the size of this diameter right the way through it, and then I'm going to glue that with epoxy onto the side frames of the plywood that's this side here. So instead of it just being ply, thin ply, nothing, it'll be thin ply, 1 inch thick block, just extra security. And then I'll smear, I've got two friends, and then I'll smear epoxy around the edges to lock it into place and make it a nice tight fit. I do not and will not have these wings fold on me, so that's going to be the plan for that. What was I doing? Oh yeah, right, holios. Now these have had, very crudely, a small gouge that has been ground on. Thank you, that's the word I was looking for. That weren't done by me, that was done by manufacturing. See, there's another one there. For some reason that one looks tarnished, but it's alright, there's nothing wrong with it. So that retract unit, because the wheels go on the inside, will fit basically into there perfectly. And as you can see, it is slightly raised up. Now I'm going to have a look and see if that is raised up out the fuselage. Can't do it yet, but I'm going to see if it is raised up out of the fuselage when it's screwed down, because if it is, then what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to make 2 shims that will make the retract, if I can get it back out, sit basically like that at an angle. And then look at the difference. And then the only downside to that is, it means that when the retracts come out, the wheels are going to be towed in. So it's going to be a bit of a with that. Well, hopefully I won't need to. Hopefully that's how it should be. Do the wheels go on the inside or the outside? They go on the inside, don't they? Yeah, not the outside. So, can I have a look now? No, I can't. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Now, these are all nice and level, and that fits in there nicely, like I say, with it slightly raised. And I'll just quickly get the other one. You'll hear me, but you won't see me. Can you hear me? Can you all see me? And shove. Nope, that's not going in because the glove screw's in the way. But I'm replacing that. But looking at that, it does the same thing. So I'm guessing that is how it is meant to be. But we'll see. It just means that when the aircraft's flying through the air, that's going to be above the wing. I don't think it'll affect it that much, but we'll see. So, right, what time is it? 8:30 PM. I'm going to knock it on the head. And then I'm going to need to go tomorrow to get some screws for these here. And then we can crack on. In theory, we should get it finished tomorrow. But we'll see. Anyway, I'll see you in the morning, guys. Hey gang, we've had a good day here today. So I've pretty much spent most of the day flying. I've had the Tucano out and been putting earth through her paces, and to be fair, since it's had its paint scheme with the orange on it and whatnot, she actually looks the dogs when she's flying through the air. So I'm glad I did that. Anyway, other things that I've been doing. I did some work on the retracts, and as you can see now, I've got both the retracts fitted in, and I've had the wire fed through, so they're ready to go. Basically, I didn't film them because there was that many people here. The actual workshop itself was full of chargers and whatnot, and I didn't really have that much room to work on the Typhoon, so I had to do one wing panel at a time. But now I'm on my own, everybody's gone, we can get back on with it. Now I'm going to have a look at these tiller arms that I've got, that I've done a bit of a modification to for the cards. So I want to see if what I've done works. But I had a notification from the company where I bought some from the other day saying that the ones that I ordered have been dispatched. So if this doesn't work, then I'll just use the ones that I've ordered that should get tomorrow, hopefully. But we'll see what happens and see if it's any good, and if it is, then we'll use them. Right guys, these are the tiller arms that I was using before, that I gave up on because there was only a little bit of brass in there to bite on with the thread. But what I've done is these holes that the screws go through were hollow, obviously, but the screw was able to move about. So what I did, I filled them with epoxy and I've left them overnight, and I've drilled the epoxy, so now the screw is biting into the epoxy and the metal. So it should be enough. Once I do a flat on this here, it should be enough to hold the control arm in place. I have still got new ones coming, but I'm going to see if these work, and if they work, then I'll just keep the new ones as spares. So I'll get the flats like put on, and then we'll put them in, and hopefully it'll be done and we can control arms and zzz, working. Right, overkill, big screws. Those are M4 screws that go through these plastic tiller arms. They bite on the plastic. I've re-drilled the brass insert and tapped it, and they are pretty damn tight. They're not going nowhere. So they're working. I've got them sorted now. So all I'm going to do now is, I've got these, where are they? Here they are. Here they are. I've got these here, which are what I'm going to use as the control arms. I'm going to use a ball link to go through to hole there, and then this will be held on through this here. I'm going to take that off. Actually, I might just use that as it is, because I can adjust this up and down, and it's held on by 2 grub screws. They're good connectors, these are. So I'll think about that one and decide what I'm going to go for, but I might just do these because I know that this fits through there because I've already tried it. So I'll get the ball links fitted, get them all connected up, and then we'll get the servo tester out and have a look at them all working. Right guys, there we go. They are working. Now we need to put them on a, why won't you go any further? That needs to be adjusted slightly so that the canard comes out a bit more. Because it's sticking, look at that. Okay, but that works. Now both of these canards are going to be put on different channels, so when it comes to operating them I can trim them out so that they're both equal and both level with each other. So that'll be done later on once we get the all the electrics and the receiver installed. So there we go, canards finally done. Right guys, what I'm going to be doing now, move these out of the way a minute because I don't need them. What I'm going to be doing now, these, like I showed you before, these are the spars for the Typhoon, okay, and they are, bear with, let's have a look, they are 17 centimetres, 170 millimetres in length, okay. Now what I'm planning on doing, because I've cut away the ducting to allow like open ducting to the fan, this one here will remain as it always has done, but I'm going to put plywood blocks over the ends on the inside to give it something else to key into, okay. But this one on this side here, the front one, because I've done the open ducting, I can actually put the spar right the way through the wing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to create a solid spar that will basically go right the way through the fuselage as extra security for the wing. Now what I'm going to use, you might think it's overkill, but I want it to be perfecto. I have got 3 bits of aluminium, one there, I've just hit the canard, and I've got a tube of carbon fibre, okay. Now as it happens, that fits perfectly into there, which will go to the whole length of this tube, and then this bit will slide, hold on a second, into this bit, which is a perfect fit, and then this bit will slide into the carbon. And then what I'll do then is I'll make sure that this and the carbon is the exact length that it needs to be. Where's the other spars? It'll be the exact length that it needs to be. So this rod will go from one end to the other, and then this aluminium rod will go in the middle with that bit over the top. And then once that's done, these will all be epoxied together, and then I've got some carbon tow, which is, where is it? Where is the toe? Where is the toe? There it is. Hang on. Hold on. Here it is. That's the carbon toe. And then that carbon toe will be then wrapped around this carbon all the way across. So I've got 2 outer spars, an aluminium spar that goes right through with a sleeve over the top of that, which will have a sleeve over the top of that made of carbon, which will then be wrapped in carbon toe. So by the time it's finished, these will hopefully be together as one and roughly the same diameter. And then what I'm going to do then is I'm probably going to epoxy it in to the fuselage, and it'll be left in there permanently. So that's the process that I'm going to do next. That's what is going to happen to help stop the wings from going in midair. Right guys, this is what we've got. We've got the 2 main spars we've got this spar that fits all the way through, and then we've got this one here. This is the carbon spar, and if you look, I don't know if you can see that, it's got the aluminium tube inside, and it took some getting in. I really had to get whack to, but it's in. And then what's going to happen is this bit here is going to slide onto here like so, like I saw. And then this bit is going to go into there, and that bit is going to go into there, and then we've got one huge carbon basically. Now I'm going to epoxy these bits into these here and there, and then once I've done that, I'll be able to push the whole spar through like I would a normal spar, and then that is pretty damn strong, really strong. So there we go. Once that's all adhered together with the epoxy, and then we've got the carbon toe wrapped around there as well for added strength, it's going to be a pretty hefty spar. So yeah, I'll get that done and I'll show you the end producto. There we go, guys. Hour later, there is our spar going right the way through the fuselage. The yellow tape was where the wings went to, and it lines up perfectly. And as you can see, there's the end of the tube, and there's the end of the rod, and the same on that side. There's the end of the tube, and there is the end of the rod. That works perfect, and it is really that is not going to go nowhere, man. There we go, guys, with the wing in place, and again there is the spar. You can just see it in here. Going right the way through. Can you see it? There it is. And then there's the tube, the main spar tube that comes through, and then we've got this one here. This is the one that I said what I'm going to do. I'm going to get 2 pieces of 1/4 inch ply, laminate them opposite each other's grain, and then drill a hole the same diameter as this through, and then I'm going to place that over the top of this here and let it set. And then basically when this bar comes through, it's going to have a 1/2 inch thick sheet block that it's also going to embed into. So even more security there, guys. This wing is going to go nowhere. So really happy with that. Plan worked a treat. So what we've got to do now, Rob, I really don't know. We're nearly there. Once this spar is all dry, we're nearly there. And it's just a case of fitting in a receiver, and that'll be it. It'll be ready to go. Oh my word. Okay guys, time's getting on. We're getting on really well with the Typhoon, and we haven't got a lot left to finish on her. So we've run through what we've done today. We've got the main retracts fitted in the wings. We've got the spar made up. We've got the canards moving as well. And, well, there's not a lot left to do. We've got, basically now we need to fit the tray that I need to make a tray to put the 3S2200 receiver pack battery and the receiver onto, which will go in the nose. And then we need to fit the wings on with the undercarriage down, with the nose cone on, and then we need to put the batteries in the fuselage to purely and simply try and work out the centre of gravity. Now on the manual it states 181mm back from the leading edge. However, there are forums regarding that, and a lot of people say that, let's put it this way, between 205 and 225mm back from the leading edge is much better, and in some cases they're saying it needs to come back further. So with that in mind, we'll get that kind of thing all looked at tomorrow, and I'll mark out where the CG should be, and then we'll go from there. So that'll be tomorrow, because today is getting dark, as you can see outside. So yeah, see you in the morning, guys, and we'll crack on. Morning, gang. It is another day. I think we're on the 7th or 8th day of working on the Blackhorse Eurofighter Typhoon. And as you can see, the UK weather is at its usual standards. Dreary, miserable, damp, and well, it's not cold, it's quite mild today. Hardly any breeze, but I'm not going to be flying in this weather today because the grass is shit and it is soaking wet. So we shall continue on with the Poon. Now, one thing that I've been thinking about, and I thought about overnight, and I'm going to do, is I'm going to change these canard servos. Nothing wrong with them, but it seemed like they were both out of sequence when I was using the servo tester. You know, this one would start moving before that one did, and you can actually get the canard and stall the servo quite easily. So I have got a set here of Spectrum high power servos, and I'm going to use those. The Pitchell boys actually use these on the canards of their Typhoon, so these are what I'm going to use. I think they're 18 kilos of torque, and they've got loads of power in them. So I'm going to get them swapped over and get those fitted. I think that's going to be the first job of the day. So I'm going to need to take all these out and clean up all the wood and whatnot, and then put them back in with the Spectrum servos. Okay guys, I've got the Spectrum servos now fitted into the fuselage and connected to the canards. They're a lot stronger, they're a lot smoother, and they work together. Right, now I've put a plate in here. I've not glued it in yet. I put a plywood plate for me to sit my receiver pack on, and possibly the battery. I say possibly the battery, it all depends on the CG for the receiver, that is. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to wire it all up. I need 10 channels in total, and they are for channel 1 throttle, channel 2 port aileron, channel 3 port elevator, channel 4 rudder, channel 5 retracts, channel 6 starboard aileron, channel 7 starboard elevator, channel 8 port canard, channel 9 starboard canard, and channel 10 nose steering. So there's quite a substantial amount of channels for this, but at least with them being all individual, I can mix and I can adjust and sub trim every single channel as it needs to be. So here comes the fun part, getting it all wired up. So let's get on. The only downside to the Typhoon in putting the wings on, you've got to have the retracts down. On the mains you can't have them up because they won't go into high. So just remember to lift those before you put the wings on, which is going to be a right pain in the whistle, to be fair, but hey ho, it's got to be done. Where's my plug? There it is, hiding. Can I get it? No, I can't. Typical. I'm doing this just to show you how quick it is to put the wings on. He says, ha ha! Oh. Where's me? Why is it, even though I've got it zip tied to stop it from moving, it decides to go underneath? Stay. No, you're not going to go away. It goes underneath and wedges itself underneath the wood, and I can't get my finger in there to get it out because I've got fat fingers. Nope. There it is. Right, pull the wing back up a bit so I can see what I'm doing. And then, don't you dare fall back down again. So that, nope, nope, I need to make that longer. Oh no, I don't, it just got caught. That's all. Come on. So that's that. And then connect the retract to there. Like so. Like our so. And then push them into the wing. Get the wire trapped because you're a knob. Flip me Nora. Right. Now for the bottom wing, get that on as well. Make sure my cables are sticking out. Oh dear. Disorganised chaos, as they say. Completely disorganised chaos. God, this is a beast and a half. Stay. No. Stay there. I'm not putting both spars in at the moment. The only reason I'm doing this is because I need to connect all the servo, well, I've connected all the leads up inside the plane, and I want to make sure that all the channels are allocated as they should be. And to do that, I need to have the wings connected. Wow. It squeaked. Did you hear it squeak then? Right, this is going to be the fun part. Oh my god, it weighs a ton. Oops, roof. Oh, bloody hellfire. Right, I need the nose wheel clear, so I've got to come forward. Rest the nozzles on the back. So there, that's it. That is one heavy model. Right, so then, now, look at that. All 10 channels used on the receiver. But I will have telemetry as well, which in my opinion is vital. Right, so if I now where's my battery? If I now plug that in, turn on radio. Let's see what happens, shall we? Not a lot. Nope. Right. Somehow I've got two ailerons on a multiplex lead, but I've only got one elevator, which is also on a lead. That's working. Rattle does working. Move the chair. Have I got any power going into that at all? Yes. You hear that? There is power going into it. I think I need to allocate that to, what did I have it on? Port, starboard elevator, channel 7. So, okay gang, finally got there. We have everything moving. So we got, basically, as I worked it out, we've got the throttle on channel 1, the aileron on channel 2 for port, elevator on channel 3 for port, rudder is on 4, retractor on 5, the aileron starboard is on 6, elevator starboard is on 7, port canard 8, starboard canard 9, and the nose steering on 10. So every single channel on this model has its own assigned thing. So when it comes to like sub trimming the ailerons and the elevators, I can do them all individually. Same with the canards, I can individually trim those to how I want them. But yeah, it's all working. Got the nose wheel steering the right way with the rudder. So yeah, so now it's just a case of getting everything all sub trimmed properly, finding out where the centre of gravity is, putting the batteries in the nose, and then she's ready to go. But not today because the weather's shit. But I've still got a few things to do, minor things like say sub trimming, that kind of stuff, and like I say, I need to make the battery tray with the velcro to hold the batteries in, the batteries, the strap, and then locate the 3-cell 2200 and the receiver and the beck and all that kind of malarkey. So I've still got a fair bit to do, but yeah, she's almost ready to go. So let's get on with it, shall we? Right, that is going to be it for this one, gang. It's proving to be quite a lot of footage that I've got for this second part of the video. You can see we've got a fair bit done. We're about 97% there now, so there's not that much more left to do. Just got a few tweaking here and there, like I said before, and then we've got to get the centre of gravity worked out. And once the CG's all worked out and all the control throws are going exactly how they should be, it is time to go. So the next video, guys, will be the final setup and the maiden of the Blackhorse Eurofighter Typhoon. So thanks for watching, guys. Click the old like, subscribe, and the notification bell for more info on this and other stuff to come. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you next time.